Hi everyone, welcome to Arpita Sharma classes. I am Arpita Sharma, your educator. सभी का स्वागत है आज की क्लास में। आज हम डेली न्यूज एनालिसिस करेंगे द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर का और आज काफी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स आए हैं न्यूज़पेपर में जो आप मिस नहीं करना चाहेंगे। आपके मेन स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक्स आज न्यूज़पेपर में रहे हैं, उनको हम डिस्कस करेंगे क्लैरिटी के साथ। शुरू करते हैं आज की क्लास। ऑल्सो द क्लास PDF will be uploaded on my Telegram channel. You can download it from there. The link is given below in the description box. तो क्लास का PDF अगर आप चाहें तो टेलीग्राम चैनल से ले सकते हो, ठीक है। Before we start the class, is a small announcement for all of you. New batches are starting for UPSC CSE from 2021, 22 and 23 aspirants, and these are getting launched on 24th of March 2021. 24 मार्च से ना नए बैचेस स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं यूपीएससी के लिए। अगर आप 2021 की तैयारी कर रहे हो तो 3 मंथ्स का क्रैश कोर्स भी है, 2022 की तैयारी कर रहे हो या 23 की तैयारी कर रहे हो तो हमारे पास उसके लिए भी बैचेस हैं। एंड दीज आर स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 24th of March. And India's leading and top educators are going to take classes, including ex-IAS, IPS and IRS officers. So we have Target Success Prelims 2021 3 months batch. We have Mission UPSC CSE 2022 1-year batch. Then we have 1 and 2 year batches for 21, 22 and 23 aspirants. We have batches for UPSC CSE Prelims 2021 and NCERT batches also. So अगर आप सब्सक्राइब करते हो आज अनअकैडमी प्लस पर तो आप ये सारे बैचेस में enroll कर सकते हो. I have given you the links also in the description box below the video. What you have to do is you have to use code ARPITA10 to get 10% डिस्काउंट ऑन योर प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन। तो अगर आपको आपके प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन पर 10% का स्ट्रेट अवे डिस्काउंट चाहिए ना तो आप यूज करें कोड अर्पिता10, ठीक है। सो सब्सक्राइब नाउ। 24th of March, new batches are starting. Go subscribe now and take your discount of 10% also by using this code. Okay, so this is the code through which you can take your subscription. So let's start the class for today. Now the first very important topic that we are going to discuss is about the appropriation bill, on which questions have been repeatedly asked in prelims. Prelims में repeatedly appropriation bill के ऊपर ना questions पूछे जाते हैं. So this is very important. ठीक है। So when we talk about the appropriation bill, it had achieved the nod, the permission of Lok Sabha. So this Lok Sabha has cleared the appropriation bill which has allowed the central government, underline this, ये बहुत important point है, central government को अब permission मिल गई है for what? To draw the funds from consolidated fund of India. ओके तो अब सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया से फंड्स ड्रॉ कर सकता है क्योंकि अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल को परमिशन मिल गया है, ठीक है। नाउ फॉर व्हाट कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया गिव्स द फंड टू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट फॉर द ऑपरेशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ वेरियस प्रोग्राम्स। गवर्नमेंट जो भी स्कीम्स प्रोग्राम्स लॉन्च करता है, राइट, उसके लिए जो फंड्स चाहिए होते हैं गवर्नमेंट को वो कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया से लेता है, ठीक है। सो दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट फॉर योर अपकमिंग preliminary examination. Now the bill was passed after Speaker Om Birla put it through the guillotine. What is guillotine? Now this is another important term for prelims. ये prelims के लिए एक और important term आ गया. What is guillotine? It's a legislative mechanism to approve the fast tracking of passage of outstanding demands for grants without discussion, because if discussion is conducted in the house then it delays the procedure of retrieving the funds, ठीक है। That is why in order to remove delays, this guillotine procedure is put in place by the speaker of the house to fast track the passage of outstanding demands. Okay, this is very important for prelims. Make sure that you do not leave this topic. ओके तो इस टॉपिक को प्रिपेयर जरूर कीजिएगा। नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल। ये समझते हैं अभी अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल क्या होता है। सो इट इज अ मनी बिल। अंडरलाइन फर्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट, पहला इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट जो आपको याद रखना है वो ये है कि ये जो है एक मनी बिल है विच अलाउज द गवर्नमेंट to withdraw funds from consolidated fund of India. Why? To meet the operational expenses during course of financial year. एक पूरे financial year में जो भी programs और policies से related expenses होते हैं, operational requirements होती हैं government की, उसको meet करने के लिए consolidated fund of India से पैसा निकालना होता है, वो इस appropriation bill के द्वारा निकाला जाता है जो कि एक money bill भी है। And as per article 114 of the constitution, underline this article also, on this article repeatedly for 2 years questions were asked in prelims. Okay, so this is very important. Article 114, the government can withdraw money from Consolidated Fund of India, but the condition is only आफ्टर रिसीविंग अप्रूवल फ्रॉम पार्लियामेंट. पार्लियामेंट से अप्रूवल नहीं होगा तो ये आर्टिकल के तहत आप पैसा नहीं निकाल सकते. पार्लियामेंट से अप्रूवल होगा तभी निकाल सकते हो. सो पुट इट सिंपली वी कैन से दैट इट्स अ फाइनेंस बिल which contains provisions on financing expenditure of government, and appropriation bill specifies quantity and purpose for withdrawing money. Finance bill, what does it say? Finance bill has the provisions on financing the expenditure ki yes, expenditure has to be financed, but appropriation bill, it basically it clearly says that how much money and for what purpose you can withdraw. ओके तो फाइनेंस बिल तो आपको बोलता है ठीक है एक्सपेंडिचर को फाइनेंस किया जाएगा गवर्नमेंट के इस फंड के द्वारा, पर अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल बताता है कितना एक्सपेंडिचर फाइनेंस किया जाएगा और किस पर्पस के लिए पैसा निकाल सकते हो. ठीक है, आई होप दिस मच इज क्लियर. Okay, so what is the purpose, what is the procedure which is followed for the appropriation bill? अब appropriation bill के लिए कौन सा procedure follow किया जाता है? So first step is step number 1. Step number 1 is that government introduces the appropriation bill in lower house of parliament after discussions on budget proposals and voting on demand for grants. States के लिए grants के ऊपर वोट हो जाता है, उसके बाद बजट की डिस्कशन हो जाती है, उसके बाद आफ्टर दैट गवर्नमेंट इंट्रोड्यूसेस अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल. ओके, देन अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल जो होता है आपका, इट इज फर्स्ट पास्ड बाय लोकसभा एंड देन सेंट टू राज्यसभा. नाउ लोकसभा इज गिवन द अप्रूवल, सो इट विल बी सेंट टू द राज्यसभा. तो पहले इसे कौन पास करता है? लोकसभा पास करता है. ठीक है, देन राज्यसभा हैज द पावर टू रिकमेंड एनी अमेंडमेंट्स इन दिस बिल. अब राज्यसभा के पास जब ये बिल जाएगा तो उसके पास ये ताकत है कि वो अमेंडमेंट से रेफर कर सकता है, बट इट इज द विल ऑफ लोकसभा ओनली टू एक्सेप्ट और रिजेक्ट द रिकमेंडेशंस. राज्यसभा इज द अपर हाउस, राइट. सो राज्यसभा के रिकमेंडेशंस एक्सेप्ट किए जाए ना किए जाए ये किसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है? लोकसभा के ऊपर. सो द यूनिक फीचर ऑफ अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल इज इट्स ऑटोमेटिक रिपील क्लॉज, whereby the act gets repealed by itself after it meets its statutory purpose, for the purpose for which the money has been the bill has been produced. If the purpose is finished, it is completed, it is met, then the bill will automatically get repealed, cancelled. Okay, point clear हो गया. So these are the steps, these are the procedures. And what happens when the bill is defeated? मान लीजिए बिल जो है वो कैंसिल हो जाता, डिफीट हो जाता है, नहीं एक्सेप्ट होता, तब क्या होगा? See, in India we subscribe the Westminster system of parliamentary democracy. So defeat of an appropriation bill, also finance bill, in a parliamentary vote would necessitate resignation of government or a general election. But टिल नाउ इट हैज नॉट हैपेंड. ठीक है, अभी तक ऐसा नहीं हुआ है. वैसे अगर बिल डिफीट हो जाता है तो गवर्नमेंट को क्या करना पड़ता है? रिजाइन करना पड़ेगा या जनरल इलेक्शन फिर से होंगे. अभी तक ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं है, ये आपको याद रखना है. ठीक है, एंड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर इंडिया सब्सक्राइब्स टू वेस्टमिंस्टर सिस्टम ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इफ यू आर अ पबैड ऑप्शनल स्टूडेंट. अगर आप पबैड ऑप्शनल स्टूडेंट हो तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है. ठीक है, now the next important article. I hope the appropriation bill topic was clear. Okay, वो topic तो clear हो गया. अब शुरू करते हैं next topic से. Supreme Court to hear plea against sale of electoral bonds. Okay, first let us understand what are electoral bonds. देखो, electoral bonds are instruments or securities that are used to donate funds to political parties. वो securities या वो instruments या वो mediums जिसके through आप political parties को donate करते हो. And the Finance Act of 2017 introduced the use of electoral bonds. Very important point for prelims. ठीक है, another important point is that these bonds are exempt from disclosure under RPA 1951. So electoral bonds are anonymous. You cannot know who has donated, right? So contributions received by any eligible political party in form of electoral bonds will be exempt from income tax also. Okay, these points are very important for your upcoming preliminary examination. Okay, ये points बहुत important है. Now let us understand the topic, why it has been in news. So the Chief Justice of India has agreed to urgently hear a petition by an NGO, Association for Democratic Reforms, to stay the sale of new set of electoral bonds on April 1 before the assembly elections the elections in West Bengal and Tamil Nadu starts. तो एनजीओ ने क्या कहा, ये जो एनजीओ है ना, एसोसिएशन फॉर डेमोक्रेटिक रिफॉर्म्स, दिस इज द एनजीओ. सो एनजीओ voiced serious apprehensions about sale of electoral bonds before elections. It has argued that data obtained through RTI had shown that illegal sale windows had been opened in the past to benefit certain political parties. Right? There is non-transparency in political funding. There is non-transparency in the sale of electoral bonds. Plus, those sales are illegally done. So that is why it has filed a petition, because of which Chief Justice of India has put a stay on the sale of the electoral bonds. And further, the advocate Prashant Bhushan has said that RBI and Election Commission both said that sale of electoral bonds had become an avenue for shell corporations, those companies who are corrupt, ठीक है, जो money laundering में participate करती हैं, to park their illicit, that is illegal money, and even proceeds of bribes with political parties. So that is why Supreme Court now is going to look into the matter. Okay, that is why it is important. The next important article is India has assured Sri Lanka of support. So a new resolution on Sri Lanka's human rights records will be put to vote at UN Human Rights Council. Human rights situation in Sri Lanka has worsened since Gotabaya Rajapaksa became president in 2019, and the Tamil communities in north and east fear increasing abuses. Now let us first have a look at what is going on in Sri Lanka. It is said that since Gotabaya Rajapaksa became the president in 2019, the situation related to human rights in Sri Lanka has become worse. तो अब हुआ क्या है कि ह्यूमन राइट्स बहुत ही ज्यादा थ्रेटन्ड हो रहा है श्रीलंका में, जब से ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि गोटाबाया राजपाक्सा जी प्रेसिडेंट बने हैं. Rajapaksa was a defense secretary in the government led by his brother Mahinda from 2005 to 2015. And this period from 2005 to 15, 10 years period was marked by particularly egregious human rights abuses. And what kind of abuses were done? See, first kind of abuse was that the people who used to criticize the government, in a democracy, in a nation, free nation, you have the right to criticize or find faults in the government, right? You can state it. If you think that there are some faults, you can state them. But the critics of government were murdered, tortured, and forcibly made to disappear. First instance. Second, tens of thousands of civilians were killed in civil war, which ended in 2009 between the government forces and LTTE. Then third instance was in final months of the war, armed forces indiscriminately shelled civilians and summarily executed suspected LTTE fighters. Right? And when Mahinda Rajapaksa lost the presidential election of 2015, people were relieved. Now the cases of human rights distortion will come down. Right? There was hope for change. There were greater freedom of expression. The repressive and heavily militarized situation in Tamil majority areas also started improving, right? So now a new resolution on Sri Lanka's human rights record is going to be put to vote at the UN Human Rights Councils, because the situation has again worsened since 2019's Gotabaya Rajapaksa's presidential elections. Okay, so that is why India has assured Sri Lanka that we are going to support you. We are going to look into the human rights record of Sri Lanka. Coming on to the next important article, roads to be freed of toll booths in a year, says Nitin Gadkari. Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways informed Lok Sabha that India will implement a GPS-based toll collection system and do away with all toll booths within a year. एक साल के अंदर अब सारे जो टोल बूथ्स होते हैं ना, आपको हाईवेज पे दिखते हैं, वो हट जाने वाले हैं. अब GPS based toll collection system start होगा. Now toll collection will happen by GPS, Global Positioning System. 93% of vehicles have already started paying toll using FASTag. What is FASTag? It's a system that facilitates electronic payment of fee at toll plazas seamlessly. होता क्या है कि आपके कार पे FASTag लगा दिया जाएगा स्टिकर, और वो ऑटोमेटिकली वहां से पेमेंट कट हो जाएगी उसको स्कैन करके. Okay, but remaining 7% had still not adopted it despite paying double the toll, right? So that is why a vehicle scrapping policy has been put in place. So recently Union Road and Transport Minister announced the vehicle scrapping policy in Lok Sabha. It was announced in the Union Budget for 21-22. Policy is estimated to cover 51 lakh light motor vehicles, that is LMVs. If you have a driving license, as I do, so in my driving license also there is a term called LMV. What is LMV? It's a light motor vehicle, okay, that are above 20 years of age, and another 34 lakh LMVs above 15 years of age. These two categories of vehicles will be covered, and India will implement global positioning system, GPS based toll collection system, and it will remove the toll booths within a year. This is going to be extremely, you can say amazing and also very manageable. ठीक है, आप वो लाइन में घंटों लगना नहीं पड़ेगा. ठीक है, सीधा आप वहां से जाए, जीपीएस बेस्ड कलेक्शन सिस्टम है, जितना टोल पे करना है उतना ही पे होगा, ना ही कैश की झिकझिक, राइट. तो ना ही खुले रुपए की झिकझिक. तो ये सारी झिकझिक खत्म हो जाने वाली है आपकी 1 साल के अंदर अंदर, ऐसा हमारे यूनियन रोड एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्टर का कहना है. एंड अ व्हीकल विच इज ओल्डर देन 20 years if found unfit or registration certificate is not renewed will be deregistered. कोई व्हीकल जिसका आरसी जो है रिन्यूड नहीं है उसको डीरजिस्टर कर दिया जाएगा, या अगर वो 20 साल पुराना व्हीकल है. रजिस्टर्ड ओनर्स टू हैंड ओवर सच व्हीकल्स टू अ रजिस्टर्ड व्हीकल स्क्रैपिंग फैसिलिटी विद सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ व्हीकल्स रजिस्ट्रेशन, their PAN details and other documents. Okay, the aim is simple, to reduce the population of old and defective vehicles and improve the road and vehicular safety. Okay, now there are other initiatives also that I want all of you to study today. First is Go Electric campaign. This is to remove the vehicular pollution. Then we have the FAME India scheme phase 2. We have EV policy 2020 for Delhi. We have hydrogen fuel cell based bus and car project and national electric mobility mission of 2020. To read these, however, I'll create a separate lecture on all of these initiatives for your ease. Okay. The next important article is that Rajya Sabha passes the bill to raise FDI limit in insurance sector. So Rajya Sabha, the ministry concerned over here is corporate affairs, and the insurance amendment bill 2021 has been passed. In March 15, 2021 is what it was introduced in Rajya Sabha, and in 3 days it was passed in Rajya Sabha. So what is this particular bill? The bill seeks to amend the Insurance Act of 1938, and the act provided framework for functioning of insurance business, regulates the relationship between insurer, its policy holders and shareholders, and it also has provisions regarding regulator, that is the IRDA. Okay, so let us understand the key highlights of the bill. Bill की key highlights समझते हैं. Before that, here's a small announcement for all of you. Unacademy is going to conduct India's biggest free scholarship test for UPSC aspirants on 21st of March 2021 at 11 a.m. in the morning, right? You will have 60 questions in 60 minutes. It's a scholarship test, so you can stand a chance to win from a scholarship pool of 4 crore. You can participate in the combats, you can win scholarships, and after the test you will be getting detailed analysis lectures by India's best educators for free. Next combat is going to take place on 21st of March at 11 a.m. You can use code ARPITA10 to unlock this combat for free. The link is given below in the description box. Do not forget to enroll today. Okay, so now let's start the key highlights of this bill. The bill seeks to increase maximum foreign investment. देखो FDI को increase करना इसका primary aim है insurance sector के अंदर. Okay, first is to increase foreign investment. So how you can increase the foreign investment? By allowing the foreign investors to hold up to 49% of capital in Indian insurance company. इंडिया की इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में कम से कम 49% जो कैपिटल है वो होल्ड कर सकेंगे फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स, एंड दिस कंपनी मस्ट बी ओन्ड एंड कंट्रोल्ड बाय इंडियन एंटिटी ओनली. Okay, then the bill increases limit on foreign investment in Indian insurance company from 49% to 74% now. ठीक है, and such foreign investment may be subject to additional conditions. जो भी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट कंडीशन पुट करेगी उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप फॉरेन एंटिटीज इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. सेकेंड प्रोविजन इज इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ एसेट्स. द एक्ट रिक्वायर्स इंश्योरर्स to hold minimum investment in assets which would be sufficient to clear their insurance claim liabilities if they have any. ओके, तो कोई भी इंश्योरेंस क्लेम लाइबिलिटी होगी तो इतना तो आप एसेट होल्ड करें जिससे आप अपनी लाइबिलिटी पे ऑफ कर सकते हो. एंड इफ द इंश्योरर इज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड और डोमिसाइल्ड आउटसाइड इंडिया देन सच एसेट्स मस्ट बी हेल्ड इन इंडिया इन अ ट्रस्ट. ओके, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया. और जो ट्रस्टीज होंगे वो इंडियंस होने चाहिए, दे मस्ट बी रेजिडेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर. Now the last important article is Lok Sabha passes supplementary demand for grants. Lok Sabha ने grants के लिए supplementary demand को pass कर दिया है. Now here for prelims what is important? What is a supplementary grant? There are different types of grants like token grants, like supplementary grant or additional grant is one of them. So when the authorized grants fall short of the required expenditure, जितना भी खर्चा होना है, जितना grant authorize किया गया है parliament के द्वारा वो कम पड़ता है, then the estimate is presented before parliament for supplementary or extra or additional grant, and the CAG of India brings such excesses to the notice of parliament. CAG जो होता है कंट्रोलर एंड ऑडिटर जनरल, वो पार्लियामेंट के सामने ये एक्सेस डिमांड रखता है. पब्लिक अकाउंट्स कमिटी एग्जामिन्स दीज एक्सेसेस. ये एक्स्ट्रा एडिशनल जो एक्सपेंडिचर हो रहा है उसको एग्जामिन कौन करेगा? PAC एग्जामिन करेगा, एंड देन ही गिव्स recommendations to parliament, and these grants are presented and passed by parliament before the end of financial year, that is 1st April to 31st March. Okay, so you have to remember this for your prelims. Prelims के लिए इसको बेटा याद रखना, ठीक है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो दिस वाज ऑल फॉर टुडे. आई होप यू एंजॉय टुडेज क्लास. 20 मिनट में हमने पूरे न्यूज़पेपर को अच्छे से समराइज कर लिया है. मुझे उम्मीद है कि आपको ये क्लासेस पसंद आ रही है. अगर आप ये क्लासेस पसंद कर रहे हो ना तो आज के आज सब्सक्राइब कर लो, लाइक करो, शेयर करो, बाकी स्टूडेंट्स के साथ शेयर करो. ठीक है, थैंक यू.